Yo, Naomi! It's been a crazy long time, huh?
Could it be... Is that the world's biggest love fool? How's it going? Is your head still off way up in the clouds?
Huh?
Oh, forgive me. I didn't mean anything by that. Forget I said anything.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it's me, Henry.
Oh yeah, I remember. The dirtbag I divorced for cheating on me with my old classmate.
Why do you have to say it like that? It's been over 5 years now. Sheesh, woman. Give me a break, would ya?
You're right. It's been over 5 years, so why are you messaging me? You here to beg for money?
Why would I do something like that?
I suspect you probably ended up in a mountain of debt after everything that went down.
Yeah, and why was that? Because of all the compensation I had to pay to you during the divorce. I kept up diligently with my loan repayments, though, never missing a single one. Now my credit score's clean and I'm finally out of the red.
You might be out of the red, but that doesn't mean you're in the green. You probably don't have any savings, right? In any case, I don't have a single cent to lend you, and I never will. Bye!
That's not it! Wait! You're wrong anyway. I do have savings. Maybe not much, but I do. What matters is that even in spite of that, I'm happy.
That's a surprise, but it does confirm my theory that you're a moron with his head in the clouds. After all, who could marry a girl like Rita and still be happy?
What's this thing you keep saying about my head being in the clouds? I don't get what you mean. Is it supposed to be a joke?
If you don't understand at this point, I think it's probably for the best we keep it that way.
I'm obviously gonna be curious.
If you really want to know, I suggest you go and investigate yourself.
What the hell is with you, Naomi? I went out of my way to contact you after we didn't speak for 5 years, and this is how you act?
Oh no, are you just the world's biggest victim? Have you heard yourself? Went out of my way? You deserve sainthood. I thought I was making it crystal clear how much you're annoying me by how blunt I'm being with you. I was obviously wrong and you're dimmer than I thought.
Come on, at least listen to what I've got to say. I saw you in front of the station.
When? Yesterday around noon. Oh yeah, that might have been me. I think was around the station at the time, actually.
I knew it! What's going on? Did you come back?
Come back? What do you mean?
I heard that you got remarried, but I guess it fell apart, and you had to move back in with your parents, huh? Tragic.
Excuse me?
Imagine being a woman with 2 divorces under her belt. That's gotta be seriously rough. I, on the other hand, am happier than I've ever been.
Wow, good for you.
Listen to this. You're never gonna believe it. I'm a dad to twins now. They were born half a year ago.
Wow, amazing. I can barely contain my excitement.
Hey, stop being so sarcastic, damn it. You could at least congratulate me.
Congrats. Is Rita the mom?
Of course she is. She and I tied the knot as soon as I finished paying off my debts. And just after that, we found out she was pregnant. Everything lined up for us perfectly. My life is now nothing but a series of joyous events. One thing's for sure, it makes up for all the crap you put me through in the past. I've got a feeling there's nothing but happiness waiting for me from here on out. Sometimes it feels too good to be true, and I wonder if I'm gonna wake up at any moment. I think I used up all my suffering for this life during my relationship with you.
All of your suffering, huh? If only life were that simple, Henry. I hate to tell you this, but I've got a feeling it isn't. Especially after what you did. Can you really call happiness obtained by treading all over other people true happiness?
Regardless of whatever jealous, bitter remarks you might make, Rita and I are genuinely happy together. Our lives are like a fairy tale. A part of me did feel bad for you about what happened with us, but this is simply the reality of things now, Naomi. And you're gonna have to come to terms with the fact that I'm super happy.
Okay, I came to terms with it. Are we done?
You think you're so clever. I understand how hard this must be for you considering what a disaster your life is now.
Huh? My life's a disaster? Interesting. Would you mind explaining what you mean by that?
Come on, Naomi. I get you're embarrassed, but there's no point in playing dumb.
About what?
You might be able to make it somehow if you were only a one-time divorcee. However, being a two-time divorcee? As a woman? From a man's point of view, you're basically damaged goods. Sorry, babe, but things aren't looking good for you.
A two-time divorcee? Would you mind telling me who the hell you're talking about?
Drop the act. It's just sad now. I'm obviously talking about you. I'm pretty sure you understand from the flow of the conversation. You're just ashamed and don't want to admit it.
I only ever divorced once.
But you said it happened again earlier on.
I most definitely did not.
What?
Why don't you try reading through the chat again? You just assumed I got divorced again because you saw me in front of the station and somehow made an astounding logical leap that it somehow meant I moved back in with my mom and dad.
But wait. So you're saying you didn't divorce the guy you married after me?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, what the hell are you doing back here then? When a woman of your age goes back to her parents' place, it usually only means one thing.
Does the concept of visiting not exist in your mind?
Visiting?
I got invited to the wedding of a friend who lives in the same neighborhood as my parents. I lived with my husband on the other side of the state now, so I'm staying with my parents while I come back for my friend's wedding. Oh, and by the way, the wedding was the Saturday the day before yesterday, and guess who I saw there? Rita.
Huh? The day before yesterday? Wasn't it yesterday? Sunday? She told me the wedding was yesterday.
Huh?
Plus, it wasn't around here. She said it was a couple of hours away on the train. She left first thing on Saturday. The ceremony itself was yesterday. That's what she told me. She's supposed to be coming home tomorrow. That's why she left the kids with my mom and dad.
None of what you just said makes any sense. The wedding ceremony and banquets were both held at the reception hall of a hotel near the S station, which isn't that far from here, and definitely not a few hours away. If you live around here, it should be possible to arrive and make it back on the same day. Why would she need 4 days?
Huh? Wait, what the hell is going on?
Maybe it's just best I tell you.
What? Tell me what? Do you know something I don't?
Let me make this clear that this isn't something I'm directly involved in, nor something I directly saw myself. It's nothing to do with me, and I don't want it to be, okay?
Just tell me. You can't say you know something then hold off like that. Did you see something?
One of my friends who got invited to the wedding said she saw Rita and Chad in the backyard of the hotel. Apparently they were getting quite familiar with one another.
What? Chad? Wait, that's
right, Rita's ex-boyfriend. My friend, the one who saw them, knows about everything that happened back then when Rita was stealing you from me. She said she couldn't keep quiet about it and told me everything. What a pair those two are. I mean, can you believe it? I wonder if it happened in the heat of the moment when they were reunited by chance at the wedding. Or have they in fact been at all like rabbits behind your back the whole time? Actually, me and my friend already had this discussion. We didn't have enough information at the time, but now I know she lied to you. Her husband, about the day and venue of the wedding. I can only conclude one thing.
Wait, stop it! Just stop it right now! Don't go making up hurtful lies just because you're jealous of mine and Rita's happiness!
Don't flatter yourself, sweetie. Whether you're happy or not makes no difference to me. Anyway, I told you everything I have to say. I suggest you go off and think about it on your own now.
Naomi, it's me, Henry. Can I speak to you about something?
What?
Rita and I got a divorce.
Oh my.
You were right. She was cheating on me with Chad. Apparently the reason she was away for a whole 4 days was because they used the coincidence they both got invited to the wedding as an opportunity to go on holiday together afterwards.
Oh well, that explains it then.
That's not all. On top of that, the kids.
The kids? What about them?
They're not mine.
Wow.
How the hell could this happen to me? I thought we were the happiest family alive. I thought I had it all.
I hate to say I told you so, but I did ask you whether happiness obtained by treading all over people could really be called true happiness.
Oh my god.
You might not even have known since you've only lived around here since graduating college and finding a job, but she's always been notorious for being a cheating homewrecker of the highest order.
What?
Particularly with Chad, who's known for being just as much of a rat. They break up, get back together again, always breaking other people's hearts in the process, of course. It's like an endless loop.
I didn't know anything about that.
I'm guessing they knew and took advantage of your ignorance on purpose.
Seriously?
Rita's also known for being super shallow and going for guys based solely on their looks. Even if the rest of you is rotten, you are at least handsome, which is probably why she set her sights on you. Oh yeah, on that note, do you know who the real dad of your twins is?
Well, I'm guessing it's Chad.
I guess he's the most likely candidate. Anyway, I assume you're gonna be super busy from now on, what with things like compensation claims to think about. Good luck!
About that.
What?
Just as I was getting ready to call a lawyer and file my claim, the two of them fled abroad. I have no idea where they are now.
Wow, seriously?
Not just that, but they left the kids with me.
Wow, those two are something else. Just when you think they can't get any more brazen.
What am I supposed to do now? I'm stuck here looking after two screaming, vomiting brats that aren't even mine. I feel totally lost. I think I'm gonna lose my mind.
Did you try contacting Rita or Chad's parents? They're the kids' grandparents after all.
They refuse to have anything to do with us.
Oh, I see. I heard the parents on both sides cut all ties with them after their proclivity for cheating and homewrecking brought home so much trouble.
Aha! That's it! Naomi, I've got the perfect idea. How about you raise these twins with me?
That's the perfect idea, is it? Jeez, I'd hate to hear a bad one. What the hell?
Please, you're the only person I can turn to.
Why the hell would I raise two kids that have absolutely nothing to do with me?
Well, why should I? We're in the same boat here.
We are most definitely not in the same boat. Yours is full of holes and you're stranded out at sea. I most definitely will not be getting in there with you.
Just think how happy we could be if we struggle and grow together under the same harsh circumstances. Be mine again, Naomi. Let's walk through this life together hand in hand.
No thanks. The only place you're walking to right now is towards a cliff edge. Why would I throw away my own happiness to join you as you plunge into despair?
Throw away your happiness?
Yes, my happiness. I'm happy with my husband and I have no intention of jeopardizing that.
Well, where does that leave me then?
Not my problem. Talk to your parents or something.
My parents won't speak to me anymore after what just happened with Rita. They said they're at their wits' end and want nothing more to do with me. Ever!
What a shame.
Please, I'm begging you!
Oh, you are? Not my problem. Bye.
Naomi!
How to put this? While I do feel a sliver of pity for the sheer patheticness of the situation Henry is in, ultimately, he brought it all on himself, so there's definitely no sympathy. His messages got so frequent that they bordered on harassment, so I had no choice but to block him in the end. A few days later, my ex-husband had the nerve to show up at my parents' with his cheating ex-wife's kids. I have no idea what his aim was, but he was yelling at the top of his voice. Me and Naomi are back together, and we decided to raise the children together. He was so loud that even the neighbors could hear him. Apparently half the neighborhood was peeping out in the window as he banged on the door in a panicked frenzy. I'd already explained everything to my parents beforehand, so they understood what was going on immediately, and my dad called the police without hesitation. Word of Henry's walk of shame in handcuffs into the back of a police car soon spread around this whole workplace. After he was seen by a passing coworker, and he was fired, his reputation in tatters. Eventually, the twins were taken into a care of Henry's estranged parents, who had the common sense to realize that nothing good could come of their son raising children. I'm inclined to think they made the right decision. Can you imagine how they'd have turned out with a moron like him for a dad?
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hello, Helen. How are you? I'm pretty sure you know who this is, right? Don't be immature and just ignore me. Being a childish snob will get you nowhere.
This is Karen, if I'm not mistaken. You're the one who was having an affair with my husband. That Karen?
Having an affair? Please, don't be so crude. It was nothing like that. And please, would you refrain from that my husband crap? He, Randy, loves me way more than you. You have no right to call him my husband. He's gonna dump you soon. He's already getting everything ready to divorce you.
Yeah, I suppose you're right about that. I don't think of that jerk as my husband anymore. Just a slip of the tongue. To be honest, I want to get this guy out of my life as soon as possible, but...
Yeah, money, right? You want compensation, right? Well, it seems Randy's parents will pay every cent to you, so don't worry. The sooner you're out of the picture, the better. They'll probably deposit the amount by tomorrow.
Yes, it seems that way. Well, they never really liked me very much. I guess they'll pay any amount just to get rid of me.
Yep, that seems to be the case. On the other hand, they are head over heels for me. They are super happy that Randy finally found the right girl. They really had it out for you. Dirt poor, unattractive, no fun. They just went on and on about you. What did you do to make them hate you so much?
They just didn't like that fact that Randy brought home a bride. They would act that way with anybody. I would be careful if I were you. They may seem all kind and sympathetic now, but mark my words, they will turn on you on a dime.
Do I sense a bit of jealousy there? Whatever, I was texting you about something else. I really need you to move out as soon as possible. You're getting on my nerves. You already submitted the divorce papers, right? He already dumped you, so why the hell are you still here? No place to go? You guys are not husband and wife anymore. You really shouldn't be living under the same roof.
No, I have not submitted the divorce papers yet. I plan to as soon as I get paid.
So that means the divorce is final by tomorrow? And you'll be out of the house by tomorrow too?
I'll be leaving right away.
Now you're talking. So you'll be out today, huh?
As a matter of fact, you had to text me online, which just delayed my departure even more.
Oh, yeah? I am so sorry. That I mustn't hold you up.
So, are we done here? I really want to get the hell out of here. I don't feel comfortable here anyways.
Well, I wouldn't either. I mean, you're not wanted there. It would be uncomfortable for sure. All right then, Miss Loser. See ya. Rest assured, I will make him happy. Something you failed to do.
Hello, Helen, are you there? This is Jane, your Aunt Jane.
Oh, hi Aunt Jane. It's been a while. How you been?
Fine. Is it true that you're getting a divorce? I just got a call from Randy a second ago. This is the first I'm hearing about this. Is this true?
Unfortunately, yes, it's all true. As soon as I receive my compensation for the divorce, I plan to submit the divorce papers to the court. It will probably be sometime tomorrow.
Where are you now? He said you're not living at home anymore.
I checked into the Days Inn by the mall for now. I'll figure out what to do after everything's settled.
I see. I heard that your mother passed away and you no longer have a place to call home anymore.
Yes, that's right. As for my father, he passed away when I was 12, and my grandparents are long gone, so yeah, no place to call home. I have no brothers or sisters either, so I have plenty of time. I'll think long and hard about where to live and what to do. All this stuff I couldn't carry were put into storage by Randy's parents. I'll have them shipped after I get settled.
About a job. What are you going to do? You've been married for half a year, right? You didn't work at all. You were just a housewife.
Well, again, that's something we'll have to think about.
Is there any particular field that you want to get into? What skills do you have?
When I was a student, I studied film. I was hoping I could do some film or video editing. It's only been about a year since I stopped doing editing work, so I figure it won't take long to get back into the habit in no time.
Seriously? You're just in luck. My son works at a small firm company and he could use an experienced film editor. You could do some work for him. What do you say?
Really? Your son works in the film industry?
Yes, they were just looking for an experienced film editor. If you're interested, I could give him a call. You would probably have to work on a contract basis, not a full-time employee. They would probably support you financially for the equipment like a PC and editing software, stuff like that. Everything is apparently done online. You know, meetings and so forth. So basically, you can work from anywhere you want. You want to meet him and discuss it? You can decide then. What do you say?
Thanks so much. That would be great.
Okay, I'll get in touch with my son and we can set up a meeting. But first, we have to do something about Randy and the others.
What do you mean, do something about? Is there a problem?
Randy's new wife, the one he had an affair with, well, apparently she's moving into the house now. She came over to update me on the current situation, about the divorce going through and her moving in. Plus, she went on and on about her love affair with Randy. To be honest, I didn't want to even hear about it. I was just talking to my brother, your former stepfather. She says the new girl, Karen, is very pretty, and Randy is raving about her, boasting about how beautiful she is and all. It made me nauseous just listening to him gushing platitudes about her.
Seriously?
I can't forgive them for what they did to you. Could you let me handle the rest? Trust me, I'll make things right.
Okay, but you don't really have to do this for my sake.
It's not that. They just seem to have forgotten what's right and wrong. They need to be taught a lesson. It's not only about you. Don't worry, I won't get you involved in any way. At least, it won't be disadvantageous for you.
Alright, I guess. If you insist, I'll leave it up to you. But please be careful, Aunt Jane.
Helen, are you there? Pick up! I just moved into this house. Why am I being kicked out on the first day here? What the hell is going on? It's not only me that has to get out. It's Randy and his folks too. Who is behind this? Is it you? Did you have something to do with this? What's more, Randy got fired from his job. He's the only one working. Without him, we can't survive.
Yeah, well, I had nothing to do with it. I wonder if it had something to do with, Randy works for the wedding service industry, right? It sure does not look good when one of its staff members cheats on his wife after only a year.
Are you trying to ruin us? Make us homeless?
Karen, calm down for a second. Why are you even contacting me anyway?
You had something to do with this. That's why. You pulled some crap for revenge, didn't you? We will not leave this place. You hear me?
Like I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I had nothing to do with whatever is going on. I don't own that house. I'm a complete stranger now. If the person who owns the place wants you guys out, maybe you should comply. Or there may be legal consequences. The police could get involved.
Huh? What the hell are you blabbering on about? The people of this household have welcomed me with open arms. Unlike you. Why would this family kick me out? That's inconceivable.
Oh, so I see. You haven't heard. That house you're living in? That place is owned by your aunt, Aunt Jane. She owes the property.
Huh? Aunt Jane?
Yes, Aunt Jane. Your new stepdad's younger sister. You do know her, right? When Randy's grandfather died about 10 years ago, your stepdad opted to get cash as his inheritance, so Aunt Jane was given the rights to the house and property. The only reason you can all live there is because Aunt Jane is busy with work, and she's constantly flying to Europe and Asia on business. Sometimes she's gone for weeks. She grew up in that house and has a lot of memories for her. She allowed her brother to live there as a way to look after the place temporarily.
Huh? This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Really? When I first moved in, Randy explained all this to me in detail. That we would probably have to move out someday, get our own place. Never got that far though.
Are you for real?
By the sound of it, you apparently thought you could live there forever, never having to pay rent. Too good to be true, huh?
I just arrived today. How am I supposed to know any of this stuff? Anyway, forget all that. I'm the new birdie here. Why the hell do I have to leave on the day I arrive? It doesn't make sense. This is bullying. Yeah, total persecution if you ask me.
Well, if you had any common sense, it wouldn't be very hard to understand. That goes for Randy and his folks too. I mean, the son cheats on his wife, brings this girl home, and the parents, rather than scold their son, welcomes her in with open arms and kicks me out. Then invites this woman to their home the next day, dumping me by the side of the road. Who does that? I feel for Aunt Jane. She grew up in that house and she loves the place. To have you folks throwing dirt on her memories. She probably couldn't look the other way and kick you guys out. At least that's what I think. I know Aunt Jane pretty well. She really abhors stuff like this, like cheating on a spouse.
I don't know anything about that. I wasn't trying to take over the house or anything. I have nowhere else to live.
Maybe you guys should just move out and rent or buy a place of your own.
Yeah, that's what I suggested, but Randy and his folks just went silent and had nothing to say. I already terminated my lease agreement with the apartment I was living in, and my folks got divorced years ago, and they both live with their new families. I hardly ever see them anymore.
Yeah, when I first got married, they used up all my savings without my permission. I remember I had like $50,000. They used it all up in no time. But surprisingly, they deposited that entire amount yesterday. Maybe that's why they can't get a new place.
Huh? Are you serious? $50,000?
They really must be hard on cash now, huh?
I never realized that this family was so poor.
Yeah, they like to live the good life, that's for sure. I always worried about their speed thrift ways. The house certainly looks very nice. You know why that is? Well, Aunt Jane put a lot of money into renovating it little by little. Like I said, she has fond memories of the place. Besides, she plans to live there when she retires. Well, that's about all I know.
Are you serious?
I was just like you when I married. I had no idea of the situation until Aunt Jane explained everything to me. When they demanded that they confiscate my entire savings, I was flabbergasted. But luckily, I had a lawyer friend threaten legal action if they didn't reimburse the money they stole. They immediately complied. Smart move in my opinion.
This is not happening to me!
Well, as for me, I got my money back plus compensation from Randy, so I'm good to go.
Hold on a sec. How the hell did they come up with $50,000 plus your compensation in a day? Did they have that much money stashed away?
I don't know anything about where they got the money. I got what I wanted. That's good enough for me. You should ask your father-in-law about that. Okay, I better get going.
Please, Helen, you can't just leaving hanging here.
Sorry, I have a job interview coming up. See ya, and good luck. Aunt Jane later told me that she gave to them 2 months to vacate the premise. She said she plans to rent out the place after that. 2 months had passed since I last talked to them. About that, $50,000 plus that Randy's folks paid me, that apparently came from Karen's savings, at least part of it. Well, it seems they confiscating her savings like they did mine. I hope she gets it back someday, but doesn't look likely. The rest of the money, I was told, they borrowed. Because they lost a place to live, now heavily in debt, they went out looking for some sort of live-in job. They eventually found a position at some sort of fishing resort up north. The pay is awful, but at least they have a roof over their heads. I heard that they were working their asses off to pay back their debt. It can get pretty cold up north in winter, but it is a fishing resort. At least they won't starve.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Agatha. It's been a really long time. It's me, Charlotte.
What? Charlotte? Is that really you? My goodness, how many years has it been? I haven't heard from you at all since you left the orphanage and got married. You never even came back to see me. You had me worried. How are you?
I'm okay. Well, actually, I'm not okay at all.
Why not? What's wrong?
Listen, Agatha, the thing is, I got kicked out of the house.
What? Kicked out?
I'm at the police station near the train station right now. They're letting me use one of their phone chargers. I was so desperate to contact you. I feel so embarrassed having to ask you this, but can I come back to the orphanage? I have nowhere to go after being kicked out. There's nowhere else I can stay and no one else I can turn to. I don't even know where I'm gonna sleep tonight.
Oh, Charlotte, you poor thing. Of course you can. I'll have someone come out to pick you up immediately. Just stay where you are, okay?
Thank you so much.
What exactly do you mean when you say you got kicked out? This is all such a shock. Were things not going well at home? What the devil happened?
My husband Dexter and his parents used to be so unbelievably kind to me. I felt like the luckiest girl in the world to have such wonderful people in my life. Until we got married. When we did, he asked me to quit my job so I could stay at home and support him. It didn't sound so bad at the time, but he asked me to move in with him and his parents. And that was when everything changed. All of a sudden, his mom and dad, who up until then had been the kindest people I'd ever met, started treating me like dirt. It was like living with demons. They said I was obliged to be their family servant because they, to quote them, gave my miserable life meaning by adopting me. They forced me to work like a dog every single day from 3 a.m. in the morning to 12 midnight. I wasn't even allowed to take a break to sit down. All of my clothes and personal belongings from before I got married were either sold or thrown away. For no reason, I'd be ordered to get on my knees in front of them all of a sudden, and they'd all take turns yelling at me. If there was ever something they didn't like, they'd just throw away my food or personal belongings. If I ever complained, they'd yell at how I should just be grateful I'm not an orphan anymore.
Oh my God, Charlotte.
Today, Dexter brought home some young girl. What use are you if you can't even have kids? You're an abject failure, you barren wasteland of a woman. You had a duty to provide me with sons, how dare you? You ungrateful witch. We should have just left you in an orphanage. These were just some of the things he yelled at me in front of his new girlfriend. When he was done making me feel like I wanted to curl up and die, he told me they were getting married and ordered me to leave. He basically kicked me out with nothing but the clothes on my back. I lost 10 kilograms due to stress since I moved in with them. He rejected me every time I tried to go near him. I can't even look at you as a woman, you're hideous, was his usual reaction.
Oh my God! I can't believe you went through all this. As if bullying and emotionally abusing you wasn't enough, he cheated on you as well? No way. Was the reason I didn't hear from you since you got married because they confiscated your cell phone?
No. Ironically, my cell phone was the only thing I did keep. I hid it because I didn't want them to sell that too. You gave it to me as a present when I left the orphanage, and it was the only thing I had that reminded me of you. There was no way I was gonna let them take it from me. I didn't have a charger though. The reason I couldn't contact you all this time was because my battery was dead. The first thing I did after he booted me out was to look for somewhere I could charge my phone. So that's how I'm able to message you now.
Oh God, what have they done to you, Charlotte? He will not get away with this.
I'm so sorry to trouble you like this. Ugh, it's so embarrassing to have to rely on you like this despite being in my 20s now. Even if it's just until I can find a new job and somewhere to live. Please, can I live at the orphanage again for a little while? I'll do chores, odd jobs, help look after the younger children, anything.
Don't be so silly. You don't have anything to apologize for. I'll always see you as my own daughter, and you'll always be welcome at the orphanage. If you want to come home, you can come home whenever you want to. What kind of mother would I be if I said anything otherwise?
Agatha.
Whether you find yourself to live or not, you can stay for as many months or as many years as you like. This orphanage is your home. I'm an old dear, well into my 70s now, so it's probably more appropriate to call me your grandma than your mom. But I'll always be here for you, Charlotte. Never forget that.
Thank you so much.
I'll run you a nice hot bath and cook you some meatloaf and apple pie and custard. You only have one job when you get here, and that's to relax, unwind, and forget about all the horrible stuff you've been through. Leave the rest to me. Good evening, Dexter. It's been a while. This is Agatha, the head mistress of the orphanage Charlotte grew up in. She just contacted me in great distress. It seems like we have some things to discuss. She told me everything about how you and your parents have been treating her like less than human, like your own personal slave since the moment you got married. On top of that, you cheated on her, brought your lover home, and kicked Charlotte out on the streets, didn't you? Tell me, did you ever think you were going to get away with such despicable behavior? It's obvious you've seen my messages. I can see the red marks, you know. If you can muster up the courage, you're free to respond at any time.
Shut your mouth, you old hag! I don't know a frickin' thing about any of this crap. That psycho is just fantasizing. She's crazy, I tell ya.
You only have to look at her to see it's all true. She's emaciated and has huge bags under her eyes. She's in a constant state of anxiety and fear. All it takes is a door opening to make her jump out of her skin. How does that happen to a girl who was once so fit and healthy, so outgoing, vibrant, and bubbly? She was a picture of health when she left the orphanage. She barely weighs 40 kilograms now. Her clothes were all tattered and worn out, and she hardly even had any personal belongings.
Like I told you, I don't know nothing about any of this. Anyway, even if I did do something to her, she was a miserable orphan, and me and my folks were kind enough to adopt her. Which means we can treat her however we goddamn want to.
Excuse me? Are you being serious right now?
Besides, what the heck does it have to do with you? You ain't Charlotte's mom, you ain't her gran. You're just some wrinkled up old hag sat on a high horse who thinks she can scare me. Something bad might happen if you don't learn to stay out of other people's business. You catch my drift, lady?
I'm very disappointed in you, Dexter. You seemed so sweet and kind when you came to introduce yourself before the wedding. I'm actually disappointed in myself for not seeing right through you. As Charlotte's guardian, I have a duty to make you pay for what you've done, and pay you will. Are you prepared for the hell that's coming your way?
Oh, I'm quaking in my boots. What's some wrinkled up old hag gonna do to me? You gonna chase me on your Zimmer frame? Write me a sternly worded letter? If you want to do this, then let's do this. You want to get taken down, lady?
Great, it's settled then. I'll make sure you remember what you just said to me.
Hey, Charlotte! What the hell did that old hag do? You got any idea how much trouble you're in, girl? You just goddamn wait! Answer me! I know you're looking.
Good morning, Dexter. This is the old hag. What can I do for you?
I ain't interested in talking to you, hag! Put me on to Charlotte now!
Charlotte's been looking after the children right now, but even if she wasn't busy, I wouldn't let you speak to her in a million years. What do you want? Make it quick. You seem to be in quite the panic. Anyone would think you received a court summons or something.
Aha! I knew it was you! You're gonna pay for this, mark my words, hag! The heck are you two trying to pull? Dragging me into court like some criminal! On what charges? I ain't done nothing!
It was patently obvious Charlotte was going to take you to court after the way you behaved. You've been summoned to take part in the divorce mediation on countless occasions by now, but you ignored the call every single time. You didn't show up to even a single meeting, did you? As a result, the mediation ended in failure, which means she had no choice but to take you to divorce court. Anyone could have seen this coming. If you'd have just come to the meetings, none of this would have been happening.
Ugh, don't come at me with this legal jargon thinking you're all clever. I ain't playing your silly games, hag! Why the hell should I have to go out of my way to go to court to deal with some miserable orphan's emotional issues? I ain't no shrink. If you got business with me, then you come to me. I'm a busy guy. You get me?
Oh dear, you seem to be suffering from a severe deficient intelligence. You don't have to come if you don't want to, you know. If your time's so valuable and you really can't make it, don't you worry yourself one bit. All that means is that you'll owe Charlotte $60,000 in compensation.
You what?
As a rule, if you don't show up to the trial, you lose the case by default, which means that you're obligated to pay the full amount of the claimant's requested compensation without even getting the chance to defend yourself. Let's face it though, even if you did show up to try and defend yourself, you still wouldn't have a leg to stand on.
What? Why not?
It just so happens that one of the children I raised in this orphanage is now a very successful lawyer. His area of expertise also just so happens to be divorce law. All it would take is one phone call. I do hate the idea of causing him a nuisance, but I get the feeling he'd drop everything if he had to help me in my time of need. Thinking about everything you did to her, harassment, bullying, cheating, stealing, as well as all the rest, this clearly isn't a fight you can win.
Whatever! This crap just ain't gonna stand up. It ain't got no legs. Harassment, cheating? I ain't got the foggiest idea what you're talking about. I ain't that kind of guy. If you ain't got proof, then you're nothing but a doof.
Well, now that you mention it, I also just so happen to have a friend who runs a private investigation agency. One phone call was all it took. I have enough proof to take you to court 10 times over. To give some specific examples, how about bring your lover back home to flaunt her in front of your wife, despite the fact you're still very much married? It seems like you're known as quite the womanizing sleazeball around the neighborhood too. I heard some very interesting stories. Not just the cheating either. Surprisingly, they even knew about the abuse too. Do you ever get the feelings your neighbors avoid you?
Huh?
Another one of the girls who grew up in the orphanage became a doctor. Charlotte went in for an examination at her practice and provided me with documentation on all of the physical damage you've caused her, all permissible as evidence in court. Do you understand now? We're certainly not going to struggle proving anything. Nothing you could possibly say will get you out of the 200-meter hole you dug yourself into.
You're lying! Ain't no way any of this is true. You expect me to believe a miserable orphan like her can afford to hire lawyers and private investigators? Oh, don't make me laugh. She ain't got the money to take me down.
It's true. You and your parents did steal all of her money and leave her with nothing, which is why I'm paying for everything.
You're doing what? Why the heck you gonna use good money on some waste of space with no parents? She ain't even blood to you. You gotta be kidding me. Ain't no one that stupid.
Whether we're related by blood or not means nothing to me. I raised her as if she was my own daughter. She's my family and I love her. What other reason do I need than that she's family? There's nothing I wouldn't do to protect her.
God freaking damn it, alright fine. You win, I'll apologize. She can have all her stuff back. I'll even give her some money to show I'm sorry, alright? We'll be square then, won't we?
Do you seriously think you're getting off that lightly? Don't be so ridiculous. If we're going to do this, and we are going to do this, then we're going to do it properly. No one lays their hands on my daughter and gets away with it. You're going to regret being born when I'm finished with you, boy. Surely you knew this would happen when you decided to victimize and abuse my Charlotte. Surely you weren't stupid enough to believe there'd be no consequences.
What? You threatening me?
I might not look much, but believe it or not, I used to be the CEO of a major company. My son took over when I retired, and he's running the show these days. I still talk to him regularly when he needs help with management-related things. I'm kind of like his personal advisor.
So what? You think I care about some crappy company?
Did you know that that crabby company is your company's biggest client?
Say what?
I made a few recommendations to my son at the time you two got married, after I found out you worked in the same industry as us. As a result, he turned down some very generous offers from other companies in favor of establishing a major trading contract with yours. At the time, I thought I was doing a good thing by making a gesture towards my son-in-law, but clearly I made a mistake. I think it's time my son terminated the contract. It's not like it was ever in a particularly profitable contract for us, and to be honest, I regret allowing my personal affairs to get mixed up with my professional life.
Wait, what? What?
Don't get too excited yet, I'm not finished. Next, there's the company your dad works at. Another one of the boys who grew up in my orphanage happens to be the CEO of his company's parent company. Well, I say boy, but he's 50 now.
No, wait! You're going after my freaking dad now? No, wait, you can't!
Oh, one more thing. You and your parents rent your house, don't you? You're not going to believe this. The coincidences are almost piling up too high now. But I also happen to be friends with a major real estate magnate. And you'll never guess whose house he owns. Yep, I could even make the phone call this evening. Which angle do you think we should go for? Refusal to renew? Mandatory eviction? Can you imagine if I made phone calls to all of my friends about you? Can you imagine how far you'd fall? I'm thinking you hit rock bottom before you even realized what was going on.
Oh my god, don't! I mean, don't, please!
Let me spell it out. If I do decide to take revenge on you, you will lose all that you hold dear. You'll be lucky if you even get to keep the clothes on your back. Your blood will run cold with terror and you will be plunged into the depths of despair, hopelessness, and suffering. Doesn't that sound nice?
Please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, I mean it!
Don't you think you're apologizing to the wrong person? And by text, really? Don't you think it'd be more appropriate to get yourself down here and beg for forgiveness on your hands and knees?
Yeah, you're right. I'm so sorry. I promise I ain't ever gonna do anything like this again. I never thought it would come to this.
Your luck ran out when you made the fatal error of taking me for some harmless old woman. I'm not trying to brag, but I have friends in high places. Exterminating a wretched little worm like you would be child's play.
I'm so sorry, really. I'm so sorry. Please don't do it.
We'll be continuing this conversation in court through our lawyers. Goodbye. Immediately after that, Dexter and his parents rushed down to the orphanage in an attempt to apologize for their behavior. But the time for apologies has passed, and they were delusional to think otherwise. I told them they could apologize in court and sent them on their way. They would accept it and sat down on the floor outside the orphanage like petulant children, leaving me with no choice but to call the police. They quickly stood up and hightailed it out of there when they realized who I was on the phone too. Obviously, Charlotte won the trial. Dexter and his lover were ordered to pay a combined total of $75,000 in compensation. In order to come with the money, he and his parents were forced to move out of the house and sell all of their personal belongings. To add insult to injury, his lover, furious about being dragged into such a catastrophic situation, broke up with him no sooner than the trial was over. Now, last I heard, Dexter and his parents are living in an apartment so cramped and tiny they're like rats huddled together in a cage. Between his company losing their biggest trading partner as a result of a few choice words of advice to my son, and his reputation as an abusive scumbag circulating around the office, his work life is now a living hell. I was astonished he didn't get fired, but in a way, this is actually more satisfying. He deserves everything he gets, so I can't say I feel bad for him. Charlotte's gradually returning to her old, vibrant, bubbly self while living at the orphanage. She's helping me out by looking after the children and doing various odd jobs while recuperating. Here's to the start of Charlotte's new life. She deserves to be happy.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.